Yo, g'day, well, Marc Orchard coming to you live from Myriad 2018 here in Fortitude Valley, proudly brought to you by Everledger and Invest Sunshine Coast. We're here with Mark. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm good, my friend. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm feeling a bit short here.
That's it. I tend to be that tall 6'5" guy that talks too much and gets super excited about startups. So you're probably not the only one, my friend.
Awesome stuff. And how are you enjoying Myriad so far?
Mate, it's been good fun. Like, there's been a lot of, obviously, the Brisbane ecosystem coming together, but also a lot of people from outside. So I've met a whole heap of interesting people today that I wouldn't have met otherwise, and good vibe here at Myriad today.
Yeah. And did you go last year?
Oh, I didn't. I was actually on my honeymoon last year, and a hurricane came in and pretty much blew out Myriad last year. So I apologise. I missed it all last year, but this year it's doing well. It's going really well.
Yeah. So what's some of the key things that you've seen from the event so far today that's sparked some interest?
Yeah, cool. The thing I'm really enjoying is that a lot of the startups that are coming through Brisbane at the moment are now at that stage where people are starting to either invest in them or to come on as be key clients for them. And so there's actually a lot of really cool startups here at Myriad that are Brisbane based. So a lot of the people coming outside of the ecosystem are super impressed with what Brisbane has actually now got to offer from a startup, both from an investment point of view or from just a technology point of view. There's some really cool stuff here, brother. So from my point of view, I'm just connecting the dots. My job is to take the startup founders and put them over there with the investors, or put them over there with the clients, and see if I can get them all into mischief.
Awesome. And so what's your role at your city manager? So explain that at Fishburners.
Yeah, cool. So I'm city manager at Fishburners. So Fishburners is a co-working space for early stage tech startups that are looking to start and scale. My job is 50% with the members, sitting down with them, planning up milestoning, what they're trying to achieve, making sure that their business model's sound, and being able to assist them to be able to build their business out. And then 50% is getting the rest of the ecosystem involved. So going to investors, getting to corporates, going to City Council, the Queensland Government. We also have Fishburners in Sydney and Shanghai as well. So I spend a bit of time in the other spots as well, trying to connect the Brisbane ecosystem there. And then in the meantime, I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of coffees and emails. It's pretty entertaining, my friend.
Yeah. Sounds like a busy job. You're getting to see the stresses of all the entrepreneurs.
That's it.
And then you get to see what the investors are stressing about as well.
It is. One of the most interesting things about each founder is they just have such a unique story. So no matter what the business idea is, the person behind the business is usually just as interesting, if not more. So from my point of view, it's a blessing. I get every day spend time with passionate people trying to change the world, and my job is just to make sure that they all know each other, my friend.
Awesome. And from being in that sort of position where you get to see that, what's some of the key takeaways and important things that you've noticed that need to be replicated in other ecosystems and communities?
That's a good point. Pretty much for any ecosystem that's looking to start, the first thing is just being able to make sure there's a group of people that care. We're really lucky, pretty much from iLab in its first iteration through to River Sea Labs, coming through to Little Tokyo 2, Fishburners and co-working. Then more broadly with the Brisbane City Council and the Queensland Government putting a lot of effort and energy, the Brisbane Angels, there was a lot of really good ingredients that are now just coming together to make this really, really exciting. For any other ecosystem looking to develop that, realistically it's just a case of finding that core group of people that really care. That's the main thing that really works in Brisbane.
Awesome. And any key, advice that you'd like to give to, entrepreneurs out there that are starting out?
Good point. Realistically, there's only three things that kill startups. One is that they run out of money. Two is that they don't get product to market fit and they fall in love with the thing that they're building rather than the people that they're serving or the problem they're trying to solve. Or three is they don't realize how hard it is. So when the going gets tough, they decide it's too hard to keep going. So from my point of view, if any entrepreneurs out there looking to try and change the world, make sure you know your numbers, make sure that you have a group of people that you want to help and serve. And then lastly, strap in for the ride. Get a mentor, spend some time with startup founders, because realistically, it's going to get hard, and it's just having a plan for what to do when you get there.
Yeah, and so Fishburners obviously provides a space for people to collaborate. What's one of the key things that you've noticed on your journey and the importance of collaboration?
Yeah, great point. For me, the biggest thing with Fishburners, so being a co-working space and having, at the moment in Brisbane, we have 110 members and about 85 startups. Down in Sydney, and we have about 120 members and about 300 startups. Three things is one, it's really hard being a startup founder. So your mum doesn't get it, your dad doesn't get it, your wife or your husband or your partner doesn't get it. Your friends oftentimes are doing really well in other areas of their life, and so being able to explain what a startup founder actually feels like is really hard. So being surrounded by other people doing something similar, who are a little bit further ahead or need a little bit more help, that seems to do a really good job of making people feel like that they've got a tribe, and then more broadly with collaboration, brother. Like, the best thing about a co-working space is all the things that you don't plan for. So the person you're having a coffee with happens to know a guy who knows an investor who will give you some money, or you go in with one idea, you think it's amazing, you realize it's not working, you collaborate with somebody else and a new idea comes out. 25% of the startups that come to Fishburners come out with the original idea working, 25% decide not to go ahead with their idea, and the 50% in the middle usually have some sort of alchemy inside of the co-working space, and they leave not doing the thing they started with, but with a new opportunity that's just as exciting, if not more.
Awesome stuff. And anything that you see for entrepreneurs out there that are struggling in terms of connecting, what advice would you give for that?
Look, just talk to people. Like, realistically, particularly in Brisbane at the moment, there's so many people.
Like what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, there's so many people that are really interested in wanting to help. Like, there's literally this whole ecosystem of people through the government, city council, us in the co-working space, investors that are happy to have a 15-minute conversation with you. Just don't be an island. Like, the biggest thing is that no startup that I know of has ever succeeded in isolation. Doesn't mean that they have a co-working space, doesn't mean that they had an investor, but they had some way to connect with other people doing similar stuff. So from my point of view, just be brave, reach out, have a coffee, say hey, and realistically there's so many people that want to help.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, thanks, Mark, for joining us.
My pleasure.
And yeah, make sure you keep following for more awesome content coming to you live for Myriad 2018, and proudly brought to you by Everledger and Invest Sunshine Coast. Awesome stuff, guys. See you later for more. Kitcha.